Hey guys, so we've made it to our chapter 10. There it is, chapter 10 review. I'm going to pick and choose, sorry as I try to adjust this, pick and choose which problems, hold on, maybe stay, maybe not. I'm going to pick and choose which problems to do. If I don't go over one that you need help with, just message me and we'll try to figure out a time to go over it together. Okay? All right. So, the first one I'm going to do is number 1. Okay? Number 1, this always seems to trick people up. We have a circle. We have a chord. We have the center of the circle. We have a segment that's going perpendicular to the chord. That is 3. The chord was 10. And then you have your radius x. Okay. So a few things to notice about this problem. First off, because that segment is perpendicular to the chord, that means the chord is being bisected. Okay, so that's one important thing. I break it into 5 and 5. The other important thing to remember about all of these diagrams is you can draw a radii anywhere in the circle, right? So even though they drew a radius from this point to this outside point and called that x, I could draw another radius here and call it x, here and call it x. So the reason I'm pointing that out is because sometimes you might need to draw your own so that you see that right triangle. Does everyone now see that right triangle? I know 2 of the 3 sides. How am I going to find the third side? Pythagorean theorem. So it's going to be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 3 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. 9 plus 25 equals x squared. All right, so you're going to have 34 equals x squared. Take the square root of both sides of the equation, and x equals the square root of 34. Okay, so that's number 1. I know that one always seems to trick people up. Let's move down to number 10. So I want to point this one out because I talked about this in one of the lessons. Okay. So this one always seems to trick people up. People are like, I don't have enough information. I don't know what to do. A few different things you could do. If this arc is x, you could label the big arc, this arc here, 360 minus x. Right? That might help. Okay? But more importantly, use the trick. What does this look like on its side? Looks like an ice cream cone, right? A teeny, teeny ice cream cone with a huge scoop of ice cream. What is the relationship between the outside angle and the arc that sits inside the cone? Do you guys remember? They're supplementary, okay? So you're going to have x plus x equals 180. That's 2x equals 180. Divide by 2, x equals 90. Okay? So that's a fast, easy way of doing that problem. Let's look at number 11. All right, so number 11. We have a circle and we have a quad inscribed in the circle. Each of these angles is on the circle. Each of them are inscribed angles. That's one thing to remember, okay? Those angles are labeled 2y, why does my marker want to work? 2y plus 74, 2y plus 100, 6x minus 10, and 7x plus 1. All right. So, and I don't think, yep, that's all that's given. So, you need to remember that when you have a quad inscribed in a circle, opposite angles What do we know about opposite angles? They're supplementary, okay? So this angle plus this angle equals 180. 2y plus 100 plus 6x minus 10 equals 180. And this angle plus that angle, they are supplementary. So 2y plus 74 plus 7x plus 1 equals 180. Okay? We're going to simplify both equations, combining like terms. So this equation, I'm going to have 2y plus 6x. 2y plus 6x. I'm going to try to do some of this math in my head. 100 minus 10, that's 90. And then I want to move the 90 to the other side by subtracting. So it's equal to 90. The other equation, 2y, 7x. And then you have 74 plus 1 to give you 75. Move the 75 over by subtracting to get you to leave you with 105. Okay. All right. So from there, it's a system of equations because this equation has two unknowns, two variables, and so does this one. You can't solve this equation for x or y and get an answer, and you can't solve the other one. But together, you can work together and solve for one variable and then substitute back in for the other. So I'm going to subtract the second equation from the first. 2y minus 2y cancels. That's why it's called the elimination process. And then 6 minus 7 leaves you with negative 1x. And 90 minus 105 leaves you with negative 15. Divide both sides by negative 1, and you're left with x equals 15. All right. After you get x is equal to 15, substitute back into one of these original equations to solve for y. It's up to you which equation you want to substitute in for. I'm going to substitute in for the first one. So it's 2y plus 6, but now instead of x, I'm going to substitute in 15 equals 90. All right. So that's going to give me 2y plus 90 equals 90. I thought I made a mistake because that wasn't making sense to me at first, but it's fine. It's correct. 2y equals 0. Y equals 0. So y is equal to 0 and x is equal to 15 for that one. Okay, that is a quick review of system of equations from Algebra 1. All right, let's flip to the next page. On the next page, I think you're fine with 13. I think you should be fine with 14. I think you should be fine with 15. I will go over 16. And that'll be it. I think you should be fine with 17. So let's look at 16 and then that'll be done. So for 16, all right, here we have a circle. We have point X. We have this. 8. Z, Y, and then 16. Okay, so I think that's what was given. It says, find the radius of the circle at right. And then it says that TZ is tangent to circle X. So since, not TZ, sorry, YZ. Since YZ is tangent and XY is a radius, whenever your radius and your tangent meet at the point of tangency, I know they're perpendicular. Okay? So what I have here is a right triangle. Okay? Now, typically I'd be like, oh, let's just jump right into Pythagorean theorem. But the problem is 16 squared plus I don't know plus I don't really know because I don't know the whole length of the hypotenuse. But let's label this radius, let's label it R. If I label that radius R, can I also label this radius R? Right? So now I have 16R, and the whole hypotenuse is R plus 8. So it's 16 squared plus R squared is equal to R plus 8 squared. Okay. Oh, it's getting faint. Let me get a different marker. Sorry. All right. So 16 squared is 256 plus r squared equals, make sure you FOIL the right-hand side. R plus 8 plus r plus 8. Or r plus 8 times r plus 8. So you're going to multiply first two terms, r squared plus 8r plus 8r plus 64, r squared, and 256. Subtract r squared from both sides, which means this went from being quadratic to now linear, which makes life easier. You don't have to factor. 256 equals 16r plus 64. All right, subtract 64 from both sides, get 192 equals 16r. Divide by 16 and you get 12. Okay. All right, guys, so that is all I'm going to do from the review. But as I said, if you need help, you can reach out to me. Okay, let me know if you need help. Otherwise, give it a shot and check your answers against the answer key. Bye.